Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dudeist Journey. I'm your host, the Reverend Phillip K. Here talking to you today, having a smoke, having a drink on this fine evening here, this fine cold evening as winter sets in. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas, joyous Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, and all that other shtick and bullshit. I'm a Christmas man myself. Got my Jack Frost Christmas tree and all that good stuff, which is the subject of today. But, oh man. Before we get started, just want to remind folks that Dudeism is a philosophy, not a religion. That philosophy is the art of peace, just as there is an art of war, there is an art of peace. And we try to practice that here with Dudeism by going by our mantra, which is take it easy, such as to keep a calm, cool head whenever you're dealing with life, try not to stress, live in the here and now. Yeah, so the past is a memory, the future a dream, and the present a gift. That's why it's called the present. I'm having one of my home-rolled hemp cigarettes here, trying to enjoy myself, trying to take it easy. I mean, after all the craziness of Christmas, finally things calm down. But it's not been so jolly for me, folks, Some of you might know I started this podcast back around 2020 after I lost my little brother to an overdose. And I lost my wife of 22 years to cancer in 2022. So yeah, life's just been fucking dandy. And well, the big thing is I've been dipping my toe into the dating world. It's been a year since my wife passed, and promised myself I'd put myself out there into the dating pool. I gotta tell you guys, this is one fucked up pool. So, I've had 13 attempts with the ladies. Some were dates, talking online, meeting in person, a variety of things. And like I said in the last one, 7 out of those 13 turned out to be lesbians. The others live out of state, or just moved out of state, and some others are they're not mentally ready, So 13 times at bat, struck out every time. I think the coach is kicking me off the team, man. Because I gotta tell you, dudes, my heart's already wounded as it is, and putting myself out there, man, it's hurting even more. And but I had a realization that kind of fucked with me on Christmas Day of all things. So my late wife's parents live with me. They moved in with us just before my wife got sick, and it was for like retirement and stuff, Now my in-laws, of course, thought that after my wife died that I was going to kick them out, but I'm like, no, my kids just lost their mother. I don't want them to lose their grandparents. Okay, help me raise them. All right. Because I'm all fucked up. This is going to be tough. So my sister-in-law came, and she's single, so I'm kind of getting a little advice from her. But on Christmas Day, I swear to God, she gets like 12 texts from 12 different guys wishing her Merry Christmas. Now, I got a couple lady friends that I've been chatting with, and like I've talked about, they live in different states. And I sent them a Merry Christmas text today. Now, while my sister-in-law is showing me stuff on her phone, she's like, oh, hey, this one pops up, and it's this guy Carlos, and it says Merry Christmas. And I'm like, ooh, who's Carlos? And she laughs and says, oh, that poor boy's barking up the wrong tree. He doesn't have a chance. And that's when it hit me. What if I'm a Carlos? Because I have these ladies that I'm talking to, and I always talk. I know. I just thought of it. I was like, I always text first. They never text me. So I'm sitting here going over it, and I'm like, if I didn't text them, if I didn't initiate, we'd probably never talk. And that's when it kind of started hitting me that like I'm pursuing interests, or I'm pursuing women that aren't pursuing me. And that kind of woke me up a little bit. I was like, holy shit, what if I'm like Carlos? Because I'm sending these women, romantic messages, and I'm sending them gifts, and I'm sending them money, and they're not sending me anything in return. I'm not even getting a titty pic. You know what I'm saying? Not even one titty. Not one titty. Not one. And so I just started thinking, am I getting played here? And what's going on? And I started thinking more about, I had an algorithm for life, for figuring out life, for what I was going to do and how it was all going to work out. I had a fucking algorithm. I calculated a lot of different contingencies, put in a lot of different variables, and prepared, But as I'm sitting here and I'm going through it, I'm like, this whole algorithm was dependent upon with me and my wife. But now that she's no longer a variable in the equation, I have to completely redo this algorithm. And I'm adapting here as best I can, but I'm also getting to a point of just, I came to this realization that there is a high probability, based on the current data, that I may die alone. I mean, I got baggage, I got shit, like everybody else. Yeah, it might be tough for someone to understand. So that kind of hit me. Now, of course, philosophically, we all die alone. But I was just sitting here like, yeah, the way things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if I never found anyone again and I never loved again. I know my wife encouraged it. She told me to several times. She even had her friends tell me. But it's tough. Like I said, she died on December 8th, and so that was just recent. It's like 2 weeks before Christmas. 2 days before my youngest daughter's birthday. A lot is going on. It just kind of reminded me to people, you're like, hey, you got loved ones you're going to see this holiday season? Hold them close, man, because they might be gone the next one. Christmas it's always such a happy time, We're all trying to be joyous and giving and generous and loving, and I'm trying, man. I'm trying, but I gotta tell you. I don't know how this holiday's gonna be for me from now on out. I don't know how I'm gonna be. Like I said, it kind of sucks. I remember there was this guy I worked with. He always hated the holidays because he lost 2 family members. One in November, one in December. So he said the holidays always kind of sucked for him. I understand a fuck of a lot more what he's talking about, man. Because I'm just tired of being in pain. Tired of being sad, man. Loneliness, it can get to you. Not having another person. Missing the touch and warmth of a human being. I may not ever know it again. And that is a outcome I gotta be okay with. I mean, I'm riding the wave, man. But like I said, as Dudeism tells us, we live in the here and now, and so can't worry about the future. Can't worry about it. Who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows what'll bring? And I got a lot of family friends like, you'll find someone. You just think about the right person and try to go and meet people and this and that. And I don't know, man. I don't have a model perfect person, they don't have to have a certain hair color or height. It's just more or less common interests. You want to be on a similar path, both mentally, spiritually, physically, financially. You know, you want someone who's really going to help pick you up as opposed to drag you down. So, hey, we'll see. And what of a fucking realization to have during Christmas, right? Merry Christmas. Hope you're happy now. Enjoy your Christmas pie. Slowly going insane. And that is actually the theme here that we have today. It's the history of Christmas. So I see a lot of folks online who will post stuff and talk about, like, this isn't really Jesus' birthday, and there's a lot of pagan stuff and Yule stuff we're stealing here and everything. And you're absolutely right, dudes. I mean, it's when you look at the long history, it's complicated. It doesn't just come from one simple source, even though some folks would like it to. So we got to sit back, and I'm just going to go through a little bit of the history here. Now, in Dudeism, okay, we have Dudeismus, all right? So, and what we do on the December 25th on Dudeismus is that there's no gifts. We just have friends over and we order takeout if a place is open. And if it's not, if everything's shut down around you, frozen pizza. Just have some friends, take it easy, and just relax. Now, on December 21st, we do have what's known as a winter solstice, which is where you hibernate, get all prepared there for the winter. Take it easy, pack yourself up, make sure you got plenty of supplies. Before I forget, on December 13th, there is a Kerboptimus, which is in honor of Donnie. It's also Steve Buscemi's birthday. Steve Buscemi portrayed the character of Donnie, and so that is a holiday just for him. But I went out and I wanted to know about the history of it, so I went to history.com. And at history.com, I found all kinds of fun little factoids here about where this whole kind of Christmas thing comes from and how it all got to where it is. Oh, and before I forget, okay, so like I told you about the whole advertising thing, right? I was with Anchor.fm. They got bought out by Spotify. Spotify said, hey, you don't have enough listeners. We're not going to let you advertise. Whereas Anchor.fm didn't give a shit how small your audience was. They were like, if you advertise Anchor.fm, we'll give you a penny per play. Spotify says, fuck you. Even if they don't let me put an ad up front for anything, they don't let me advertise at all because at first I was supposed to get 100 listeners every 2 months. Now it's 1,000 listeners every 2 months, and that's just not going to fucking happen. So I said, you know what? Fuck Spotify, all right? Fuck them. You hear me, Spotify? Fuck you. You went and paid all the millions of dollars to Joe Rogan and all these other fuckers, but you don't want to pay the fucking people here who are just, trying to give something to the world or the creative community. I try to give a little bit of intelligence, a little bit of enlightenment if I can. And so I think that the whole thing is a little bit fucked up in my opinion. But you know what? Fuck them. I don't need Spotify. I'm going to do my own sponsoring. That's right. Yeah, I'm going to get my own sponsors. Like blackjack and hookers or something. Anyway, so what I thought is, okay, so I wrote this book, Nicholas of Myra. It's about the man we know as Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, and it's about his life. It's a historical fiction, falls under religious historical fiction, to be specific. And so I'm trying to promote this. I don't know. The marketing world is obviously much different, and the type of product I'm advertising a book, I'm trying to find out where those areas are. Now, Instagram has a whole book and reading community I'm trying to tap into. I went to Fiverr and paid $300 to like different people to post and put it on their blogs and shiznit and blah, blah, blah. All that kind of stuff. And one of them is this guy who does a podcast. He does a real professional work, and he made a 1 minute, like radio commercial for my book, Nicholas of Myra. So I'm going to play that, and that's going to be the sponsor for the show. Okay. So let's go ahead. So we're going to listen to this. I'm going to try and do a video of it. I'm trying to get some artwork. Like, I'm going to, like, iStock photo and stuff and da-da-da. So I'm trying to get everything together. But, I'm trying to make a video, like, commercial. But so this is the audio commercial for my book, Nicholas of Myra, that I paid for. So here, let's listen to this.
From author Reverend Phillip K. comes your next must-read book, Nicholas of Myra, a novel available on Amazon. In Nicholas of Myra, a novel, immerse yourself in the life of the man we all know as Santa Claus. From the loss of his parents to being raised on a farm by his uncle, Nicholas's early life was marked by challenges. His journey led him to the Christian temple in Myra, where he became bishop in a time when Christianity was forbidden in the Roman Empire. Experience Nicholas's profound strength as he faces arrest, persecution, and the unimaginable loss of his loved ones. Despite being tortured and imprisoned, his unshakable faith and his message of love, compassion, and generosity shine as a beacon through the darkness. Nicholas of Myra, a novel, is a journey through history, revealing the roots of Christmas and its traditions. It's a story of faith that endures against all odds. Available in Kindle, paperback, and Kindle Unlimited. Nicholas of Myra, a novel from author Reverend Phillip K. Order your copy right now and discover the story of a lifetime.
See, that was nice, right? I mean, it's professional. It's professional. Sounds good. So I'm going to take that, throw some images together, and make myself a commercial. And I'm going to play that now before the podcast. All right. Every show, I'm going to advertise me. All right. And I know it's 1 minute. I mean, maybe I'll see if I can edit around and make it like 30 seconds. But and I've gotten 2 reviews on the book on Amazon. So woohoo, 2 reviews, and one of them is my mom. Yes, gotta love Mom. All right, so let's talk about the history of Christmas. Okay, now some people might talk about where we get the Yule log and the feasting lasting for 12 days and all that. Apparently, that comes from Scandinavia. So Scandinavia actually starts this whole thing with the Yule log and the feast and all that, okay, and all that good stuff. Now, in Europe, animals were slaughtered so they wouldn't have to be fed during the winter, and, food could get scarce. And so there was a lot of beer and wine that was ready during this time of year. So you killed the animals, you had the meat, you had the wine and your mead and all that good stuff, and you guys just had, like, a great party. Now, Germany, they had, like, just similar to Scandinavia, they had, like, Odin. So they considered this holiday kind of sacred to him, so they stayed inside from the winter and all of that to pay their respects. In Rome, they had Saturnalia, which is the god Saturn. Some people say this is not 100% specific, but it was supposedly the god of agriculture, and this, of course, is around harvest time. So there was a full month celebration. What was it? They had some slaves would get temporary freedom during this holiday. Businesses and schools were closed down, and so Rome really kind of sets a bit part of this stage, just a big chunk of kind of some of the traditions that we have now, like shutting down the schools and shutting down the schools, and celebrating kind of for a month. Because a lot of countries like Europe and stuff, they're like, we only celebrate Christmas like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and that's it. Whereas in the United States, we fucking put up our Christmas lights as soon as we fucking can. Like the day after Thanksgiving, the Christmas stuff is going up. And my whole theory on that is just that, like I said, it's a giving, loving, fun time for folks, and we're just trying to stretch out that feeling. But it also creates a lot of stress because we're going to all these different parties, and we're having to get gifts, and we're having to, get the food, and what are we going to serve, and who's going to sleep where, and all that craziness. So, as you can see from the history, we go all the way back to Rome, Europe, Scandinavia, Germany. All these things here, right, are creating this, and we're kind of meshing it together as people are traveling and moving, and this place is conquering that, and then those folks get their freedom, and then they start another country, and they have traditions, and it's all, it's all good. It's all good. But so, where do we get Jesus into this? So, in early Christianity, Jesus' birth was not celebrated. It was more about Easter and the resurrection. It wasn't so much about his birth, okay? So it was a holy day, but we're not really doing anything for it, And of course, a lot of people say that Jesus was most likely born in the spring or summer, yada yada. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I mean, this Jesus dude trying to get all the facts on him, man. It's a tough thing. You get a lot of different stuff there, man. But it's cool. Jesus is a cool dude. Ain't gonna knock him there. Just saying, some of his followers are fucking crazy. But anyway, so it didn't really, Christmas wasn't a holiday in the Christian community till about the 4th century. It was finally declared a holiday thanks to Pope Julius I. He's the one who chose December 25th, and they basically absorbed all the Yule and pagan traditions and everything and all the Roman stuff. And because of that, the holiday became very popular. Now, once again, some people are like, this holiday was popular, and Christians just came along and said, this is about Jesus now. And everyone's like, we don't give a shit. We're still getting drunk and eating a shit ton of food. So it's like, we're still going to have fun. Okay, thank you. And people still do. Now, this continues on, though. As around Charles Dickens' time, when he's, putting out Christmas Carol, and now it's more about being generous and kind and everything. So the poor would often bother the rich for their best food and drink. And if they refused, then the poor would terrorize them with mischief, like do little pranks and shit on the person for not being more generous during this time. A lot of people who were rich saw it as their small debt to society to pay. And then this, of course, led out to carolers. Instead of being rude or demanding, people would sing for the food and, try and bring a little bit more of the holiday into it. So that right there is just a quick summary, just a quick little thing to kind of help some folks understand about Christmas. It's not all Christian and related. A lot of different religions here, man, mixed together. A lot of different stuff. Different ins and outs, man, a lot of interested parties. And that's what we're getting here all across the way. And I hope you guys had fun. I got some cool stuff. I forgot to put, okay, so the main item I wanted was an Xbox X, but I thought I put it in my Amazon wish list, but I fucking didn't. So when I sent my wish list out, no one got that for me. Instead, they bought me a ceiling fan that I had. I had on it, which I wasn't really I didn't really give a shit about the ceiling fan, so to speak. It was just a nice piece I thought about putting in my room, which once again I'm turning into a heavy metal gothic library. But it yeah, I got, don't get me wrong, got a lot of cool stuff. Very happy, very grateful. But when I saw the big box, I'm thinking, that's got to be the Xbox. Nope, it's a fucking ceiling fan. See, I had gotten the wish list and the shopping list on my Amazon lists mixed up, and I accidentally gave the wrong one there. So yeah. Live and learn. Got a ceiling fan and accepted the fact I'm probably going to die alone. Yay, Christmas. Oh, that's some good scotch. Mm-hmm. Like to get that Johnny Walker Gold. Ooh. I actually went out, I splurged for Christmas. I bought the Johnny Walker Blue, which is like $300 a bottle. It's fucking crazy, but oh fuck was it smooth. It was fucking smooth. No aftertaste or anything. It slid down like golden water. It was beautiful, sir. And I drank the whole bottle. I mean, over the span of like 3 days, but still. Oh, I chugged that motherfucker. Oh, that was some good one. I got some sleep that night. Yes, sir. Thank you, Jesus. Johnny Walker Blue. So now, why don't we just take 5 minutes to kind of chill and relax? Now that we understand a little bit more about this Christmas stuff and everything, it's kind of helps us understand why we do what we do. And that's the only thing I always try to answer. Why do we do what we do? Why do we choose the professions? Why do we live where we live? Why do we love who we love? Why do we do what we do? You ever ask yourself that? To drive yourself fucking nuts. It's a very philosophical thing, and it can dive into all kinds of different areas. But let's just take 5 minutes to kind of relax and reflect on the fact that Christmas is a combination of a lot of different beliefs all put together. And even though I know, a lot of the Christians are like, it's about Jesus. For me, it's, Jesus is cool and all, love the whole story. Got my nativity sets, I mean, I have hand-carved crucifixes in my home from Jerusalem. From fucking Jerusalem, okay? With like the stones and the incense and the leaves and shit in them and stuff. Yeah, I have those crosses. Not to mention several different versions of the Bible, including the Action Bible, which I just thought was like, where the fuck was this when I was a kid? We had a picture Bible. It was okay, but not great. So anyway, let's take 5 minutes to reflect and just to like take it easy and just to kind of think about the stuff that we celebrate and why we do it. And usually it's because, for happiness, man. So let's take 5 minutes and we'll start that right now. And we're back. All right. Hope you enjoyed that 5 minutes, man. Hope you took some time to kind of relax and realize that, holidays are often a combination of things, and we don't have to take them all too fucking seriously. When it comes to Christmas, man, I am reminded of a writer who is far greater than myself. And he wrote this story, and in it, this character, he says, I can't think of all the things I've profited from, Christmas being among them. But I've always thought of Christmas as a happy time, a charitable time, a giving time when people think of others below them as fellow passengers to the grave and not creatures bound on other journeys. And while it has never put a scrap of gold or a piece of silver in my pocket, I think that Christmas has done me good and will do me good. And so I say, the dude abides. And that's how Christmas is for me. I like it. That's a charitable time. People open their shut-up hearts, and we're often a lot more giving. Like I said, people will do the whole corporate thing and just be like, "Oh, businesses make a lot of money during this time of year." I said, "Yeah, but charities also get the majority of their donations during this time of year. So let's maybe progress. Right? Let's think about that, man. Think about that." All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up early tonight, folks, because it's late. I'm tired. I know I should be sleeping, but fucking life, man. Fucking life. It'll kick you in the balls and rip your heart out of your asshole. I gotta tell you, man, sometimes I feel like I'm living in a bad fucking movie. I wish it would be over soon. All right, thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you next time, and remember, when you're out there in this crazy world, take it easy. Because when you take it easy, the dude abides. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you next time.